meditation and freedom from fear. Now, actually, in life is relationship, life is action, and in the so-called action that we have been um, uh, doing in our lives, what we are trying to see. Are we not trying to see a position of stability, a position of security, and we are trying to do so through accumulation of money, through name, through fame, through properties, everything that we feel that would give us security, that will give us stability in life. But so far living life, have I been able to attain that place of security, that safety, that stability? No, we haven't, because the more I get it, the more I feel that I should get more of all these to be stable, to be secure.
Fear of losing.
So what happens? Virtually, in fact, in reality, we never attain that place, because that place which we are looking for, we are trying to attain through thoughts, through our traditional action. That place is not non-existent. It is not there, because we have been living our life. We have been doing action. We have been all the action to achieve all this through thoughts. And thought is what? Thought is the response from memory, from the past. That what we have accumulated in the past, how our parentage, our neighbor, our schooling, our college, all that I have gone through, experience through my life, all has gone into the making of my past. And from that past, rising from all the actions that I have done, good or bad, that also is stored in the brain, in the memory. From that arises all my the thoughts. That memory is the source of my thoughts, and that memory is itself is a fragmentary. It is a, you see, we are trying to be something which actually we are not through thoughts, because thought itself is fragmentary. In the whole of universe, in the whole of creation, it is limitless. In that we have divided ourselves through thoughts, which means we have fragmented ourselves of the wholeness, out of the wholeness. So these thoughts being fragmentary, anything that is fragmentary, which we are not, that will definitely create conflict. That conflict comes to our lives through failure, through pain, through relationship problem, through in all areas of life, with children, with family, in the workplace, in my life situations, all through our conflicts are arising, because we identify ourselves with the fragmentary process of thought. So for so long as we are living our life, through the process of thought, there cannot be a place of stability. There cannot be a place of security, however much we might be trying in life. However much we might be so-called successful, we might be having so much of property, name, fame. Somewhere or other, there has to be conflict, there has to be fear, there has to be jealousy, there has to be suffering, there has to be various sorts of conflicts. So one might ask, so what is the way out of it? How can you be free of all conflicts? in our lives, all the time we are asking for, we are looking for, through our thoughts, through our struggle for security, for stability, through pleasures. We want to have only the pleasures, but is it possible to have pleasures, only pleasures? Because it is not possible, because pain and pleasure, they are the two sides of the same coin. If you have pleasure, you must have one must have pain also. One cannot separate pain from pleasure. If one goes through pleasure, if one pursues pleasure, there has to be, at some point of time, there has to be pain. So we are asking how one can get out of this. Because we are living this fragmentary life. In this fragmentary life, we cannot be free of conflicts. So long as we live our life through our past conditioning. So seeing all these, can we see that whenever whatever I have achieved in life, whatever attachment I have made in my life, that is giving me pain. So how can one be free from attachment? How can one be free from all attachment to children, attachment to wife, attachment to property, attachment to money, attachment to power, attachment to position? So long as this attachment is there has to be fear, there has to be pain, there has to be suffering. So can there be a living? Is there a place, is there a type of living which is free from all conflicts? Is there a way out of it? Now, to see this, one has to see that all these attachments, all these possessions, all this hankering after, all these desires for security, this itself is a danger to me. This itself is causes of my suffering. So can I see the danger? Can I see the deadliness of all this, so that I can be alert all the time? So that awareness has to be created. Because unless that awareness is not there, I am in that cycle and I'll attract that same problems of pain and pleasure and conflicts. So can I free myself of the past? No. Can I free myself all the accumulation in my psyche, in terms of memory, in terms of thoughts that I have accumulated throughout my whole life? Is it possible? No. If I am saying no, then I think I have already made a conclusion. So there is no, can I examine it? Can I see it? Can I look into it? Is it possible? Is there a way out of it? Like one sees a snake, a deadly snake, a poisonous snake, one becomes aware of it, alert of it. Like there is fire, danger of fire, so one becomes aware of it, alert of it. It will burn my finger, it will burn me. So can I be that alertness, can I have that alertness of the movement of thoughts? Difficult. So if I am aware, I don't identify myself with the thoughts that moves me to act. The so-called action, motivated action. Our current action in life is all motivated, motivated by gain, by selfishness. Me is most important. So can I see the danger of me? So if I can see the danger, if I can see the deadly poison in that which is ego, which is causing me suffering, though it is giving from time to time some pleasure, some moment of pleasure, but still basically it is through that pleasure, through that partial fulfillment, satisfaction, it is moving me to crucial suffering. So can I see that? If I can see that, then I think I can be aware of my ego, aware of myself, of my thoughts, what in my mind is going on, what thoughts are going on, what thoughts are moving in my mind, what is moving, what somebody says me, what are the thoughts that reactions are rising inside of me. So I can be aware of that. So in that awareness, I don't identify myself with that, and that I don't act according to thoughts. Somebody insults me, somebody causes me pain, somebody harms me. I have a memory in my brain. I have that memory in my brain. So I will to act against him. I also try to retaliate. So if that awareness is there, then I am not caught in that thought. I don't retaliate. How not to retaliate? In that itself is not to retaliate, that itself is action. And that action is the action of love. So, can there be an action which is right in all circumstances? Then I think nobody will be able to hurt me, nor would I hurt anybody. It is the memory which is causing the problem. So can there be that awareness, that alertness, that awakening? So I am not caught in that cycle of thoughts, action and reaction. And also, whatever we have accumulated throughout our lives, whatever thoughts, whatever accumulation of previous activities, good or bad, those are struggling to be completed through our action. Whatever you see in the world, whatever around us, around me, in family, in everywhere, that was inside of me, and gradually it is exposed through my action. And all the surroundings, the people I have related to, they have helped me in flowering, whatever I had, pain or pleasure, whatever it might be. So still, in the future also, whatever will be exposed through my action, through my relationship, still it is inside of me. Through my action it will be exposed, pain or pleasure. So, can I be aware of what I have inside of me? Can I look into what I have inside of me? Is it possible? Can I watch myself all the time? Can I watch my thoughts? What are the thoughts arising inside of me, in me? How I am reacting to somebody says something to me. Can I be aware of that? A pleasurable thing, a pleasant thing, we happily look at it, we see it. But if I see some thought which I don't like inside of me, I try to avoid it. I try to suppress it. I try to busy myself with something, so I don't want to look at it. But it is still inside of me. It is there. It is struggling to be completed. So unless that, whatever inside of me accumulated, that is not completed, till that time it will remain suppressed, and sometime or other in future, through my unawareness, it will get completed, and it may be pain, it may be pleasure. So, can I look at it? Look, but that looking is not with a motive that I will gain something out of it. I have seen that whatever I have inside of me, whatever has been exposed so far, that has given me pain, that has given me suffering. So, still, so I see the danger of it. So can I look at it, what still is inside of me? So that seeing itself will be freeing. That seeing is such, that looking is such that I am not involved with it. In that seeing, in that looking, I am not involved with that thoughts. It may be a violent thought, it may be very painful, sorrowful, it may be any ghastly, anything that may be. But can I give it space to flower, and I can look at it without getting involved with it? So in the mental level only can I complete that without getting attached to it, without getting motivated by it, without getting involved in it, so that I am not moved to act by that thought. Just looking at it, complete it. That itself is emptying. That is what is emptying of the contents of the mind, or the contents of consciousness. Because the contents of consciousness is what is rising up. In relationship it is flowering, it is exposed and causing me pain. So, that content, can I look at it without getting involved in it? Without identifying myself with it? Let it flower and let me look at it. Let it be completed. That is emptying of the contents of the consciousness of mind. And that itself is meditation. Meditation means emptying the contents of consciousness. So whatever thought accumulation is there, which are struggling to be exposed through my action, through my relationship, in everywhere, in workplace, in family, wherever I go. So can that be emptied, so that to that extent I am free? Unless that freedom is there, my all action will be pain and pleasure, pain and pleasure. In that cycle, in that vicious cycle, I will be caught in it. And however much I try to be secure, to be stable in life, that place is not there, it is not possible. Because this process, thought process itself is a conflict. It is very scientific. Thought itself is conflict. If I am a part of a whole, if I have segmented myself out of it, naturally that will create conflict. If I identify myself with the whole of creation, with whole, my personal individual identity is not there, I am lost. There is no conflict. In that thought identification will not be there. Only thought has kept me separate. Me, you. When I am with the universe, with the whole creation, which is the reality, actually what we are, that's what we are, then there is no conflict. And in that only there is only stability, only total security. That is the only place of total security, total stability. A place of bliss, a place of goodness. And that emptying process, that is what is actually, that is meditation. When one actually understood meditation, what is meditation? I think his, psychologically speaking, his words, he does not need to react only, because he doesn't want anything, because he has reached a place where everything is available, everything is there, security, stability, goodness, peace, happiness, no tension, no anxiety, no stress. That is the only place. And that is the action. That is not, don't think, one must not think that it is a, this is a very ideal place, idle. It is the most, it is the place of highest form of activity. It is the highest form of activity. It is the action, right action, total action. One becomes silent. That silence is the total action. That is the action, real. Our action in terms of thought, they are all fragmentary action. That will create conflict. But action from there, from emptiness, from silence, that is the total action. In that there is no conflict. So, from there, if one will be only watching, he does not need to comment on anything, he just watches everything. A person who has understood that, his watching is different type of watching. His seeing is different type of seeing. He simply sees, he simply watches. He doesn't say good or bad, right, wrong. It should be this, it should be that. He should have done this, he should not have done this. That watching itself is total energy. That itself is love. That is the action of love. That cleanses, that purifies, that influences the surroundings. That influences also others' consciousness. That influences the total consciousness of humanity. Listening also to him, he listens. He simply listens. Somebody talks to him, he will simply listen. And that very listening, words are not important. Meaning of the words are not important. What is important? The essence of that human being. The essence. When he listens, it touches the essence of that human being. Touches the very core of that person. Because his actions are from freedom. His actions are from total emptiness, total absolute silence. That is what is transforming. Otherwise, however much I might be trying for struggling for safety, security, happiness, that place is not there. That is non-existent. But people, you see, that is why you see everywhere so much of corruption. But corruption, when they accumulate things, people, They think that they will be happy, they will be secure, but ultimately after corruption starts their suffering. Even the criminals also, they think that they will doing this crime, you will be safe, you will be secure, you will be stable, but after that comes the suffering. This is the extreme cases. But in other, most of the human beings, it goes on so slowly, one cannot correlate that this action has caused that pain, that this selfish action has caused that suffering too. So one has to learn to be alert, extremely alert of oneself, what one thinks, what one says. So to do that, one has to understand the danger of the ego, the deadly poison of the ego, of one's ego. Because this is what one has to see that. Unless that sees the danger, he won't be alert. He will think, I am getting everything. So I don't want to, this pulling on fine, everybody is doing that, I am also this same thing, very fine, going on, everything is moving fine. So one has to wake up. This is what is awakening. Looking at oneself, not trying to correct the others. I cannot correct the other, but I can look at myself. What is me? What is actually the contents inside of me? I can look. That control is there on me. I can do it, but I cannot control others. But when I change, when I transform, it transforms everybody, the surrounding, everything changes. It is not the other way around. Never it happens. So it is very important to look at foremost importance is to look at oneself, look at me, look at myself, to understand myself. And to understand oneself, one has to, in relationship only I can understand myself. How I talk to my family members, my wife, my husband, my children, how I react, what are the words I say to them when I am angry. This exposes me. These are what inside of me is there. Words are the poison. So by the words only one's life becomes beautiful or full of suffering. It is in the power of the tongue. And the power of the tongue comes from one's contents in the mind. Contents of consciousness. What are the thoughts I have inside of me? So one has to watch oneself. One has to look at oneself. And that looking without saying anything, that I'll change this, I'll do that, I'll do this, I'll not be like this, I'll try to change that way, this way, by this, by that. Impartially, without identifying, just as it is, looking at oneself. That itself is meditation. Meditation is looking without the interference of thought, without getting identified with thoughts, without any reaction, saying good or bad, right, wrong, this should be this should be that, without saying all these things. Seeing or watching or listening without any condemnation or without any judgment. That itself is meditation. By system, by method, we are doing so many types of meditation, do this, do that. It's okay, but it's temporary. But real meditation is this. This is what is actually transforming. Whole life changes. And it has an effect on one's own family, one neighbors, everybody, wherever he goes. That has a calming effect. Silencing effect. You also, but that person also becomes, others also become silent, called quiet. His turbulence also calms down. Because it is not his energy or somebody else's energy, it is the whole energy, whole universe of the whole creation's energy becomes a channel that is so powerful that it overpowers everything. Every fragmentary thing, everybody dissolves in it. No identity in it. Everybody disappears. Everything. No personal identification. No thoughts. Thought dissolves. Thought has no power over it. In fear also it is like that. Fear means when I am afraid, there are so many types of fear. So many people, different, as many types of people, there are so many types of fear. Fear of losing job, fear of losing one's husband, fear of losing one's wife, fear of the failure, fear of losing his children, fear, so many types of fear. Fear of loss of property, fear of some other human being, somebody trying to threaten me, fear of that person. So, when I am afraid, what I do, I try to free from fear in different ways. I'll do this, I'll do that. I'll read some paper, I'll go to a psychologist. Why I am afraid? Why I am stressful? Or I try to avoid looking at reading something, watching a TV, whenever fear thought comes. But it is there, burning inside. It is there, boiling. That way I cannot escape. I cannot be free from fear. I may be going to a psychologist. I may be reading a book. Because these processes all are fragmentary processes. When I look at fear, I'll do something about it. But you see, my thought says, I am afraid of this. My thought says, I am afraid of this. So I'll try to do something about it. I'll try to do something about it. I'll try to be free from fear. I'll do this, I'll be free from fear. But here thought plays a trick. The entity that says I'll try to do something about it and be free from fear, is it different from the fear? You see, I am afraid of something. I am afraid of losing my, say, job. Now, every time this thought is coming and troubling me. So one says, I say that I'll do something about it. I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll go to my boss or read some book. Why? That fear is there. But the entity, that part that says that I'll do something about it, is it different from the fear? But thought, I am the fear. The entity that says that is also the fear, that is also the part of fear. Now that being the part of the fear, how can it do something about it? If fear tries to do something about fear, that will ultimately create fear only. One cannot be free from fear. So that entity that says I will try to do something about it, that itself is a fear. So how can it do something? But thought is so tricky, it will divide the fear and create an entity that I will do something about it. So having understood that, instead of trying to do something about it, can I be with the fear? Then there is no division. Can I look at the fear? It does not mean that I am pampering fear. Can I look at it? Can I look at it? If I can look at it, look at the fear closely, then that fear will flower, it will open up, it will tell its story. What is the root? I will be able to go to the root of it. I can look at it. I will be able to go to the root of it. So what is the origin of this fear? Otherwise, I am creating division, and whatever I will be doing, that will expand the divide. It will widen, and the fear will be stronger and stronger. The more I think about the fear, the stronger it becomes. So, instead of having understood again, seeing that, having seen that, can I look at it? In that very looking itself, I'll be able to trace to the origin. So, to look at it that way, one has to be free from all conditioning. Look at it being free from all conditioning. That is what is meditation. If I look at it, most of us, you see anything, you see, if you turn away from fear, the fear runs after you. If I turn away from fear, fear runs after me. But if I face it, if I look at it, it becomes the other way around. It cannot overpower me. I can hold it, I can see it. And that very looking itself, it dissolves fear. Because there is unity, there is oneness. And in that oneness, there is no individuality. It dissolves, it becomes completely a new thing. Transformation. So that way one can tackle fear looking at it. So one must not run away from it. One must learn to face it, look at it, understand the fear. Looking at it gives understanding. So one can be this activity itself is meditation. So something new happens. In that action, something new happens. And in that new thing is everything one is looking for in life. Not in the traditional action, motivated action, which will always create conflict. Because it is very scientific. There is no place without conflict in traditional action. Action motivated by thought. So only way out of it, one has to first see who is responsible for all the problem. There is so-called relationship life thought-based life, there has to be problem. Problem has to be there. So one has to see what is causing all problem. So one has to see the danger of that entity that is creating the problem. That it is the fire, it is the poisonous thing. Sometime or other it will strike at me. One must be aware, alert. Learn to be aware, alert all the time. In that awareness, in that alertness, there is no place for thought. Whenever any action takes place, without action, without thought means from awareness, alertness, that has a different dimension. That action is the action of beauty, action of goodness, action of tranquility, action of love. That is the action of unity. That is the action of compassion. Okay, thank you very much. That's all today. So I got to go a little early today somewhere.